Alright, let's continue on with Airplane, Service Truck, and Hovercraft Remix by Lego City. This is set number 60505. Contains 990 pieces. Retails for $69.99. The set was provided by the Lego Group for early review. Thank you, Lego. And yeah, this is what we're going to be working on today. But remember in the last installment we did the service truck. Wasn't too bad. We did experience some pieces falling off. And the score right now is at a 9. Just due to the fact of some of the pieces were scratched and we've experienced some breakage. Not too bad. I think a 9, we're going to start there. I think it might have been an 8.5, but I think it's a 9. And so today we're doing the hovercraft, which this is broken down into 3 sections and doesn't look too bad. And the builds are pretty easy on this one. They're group builds, so obviously 3 people so far can assemble the set. Well, we'll see how well it goes today. Alright, let's begin with bag 4. Let's build it. Let's unbox it first. Oh, look at all those parts in there. And yeah, the hovercraft is something I really ever see in Lego. I'd like to see how they did all that there. So let me get everything situated for you so you have a very good build pleasure experience type thing. I don't know. I'm not even making sense today. And yeah, so we got to do this guy here, and I don't think I've ever seen that part before. So that is going to be a treat. Okay, so yeah. Oh, here it is. I may be inclined to get a few of these. It'd be good for like a boat, a lifeguard station. Yeah, those would be handy. I just got to get more of them. Okay. So looks like we get a lot of this dark orange, which is cool. Let's start piecing together our minifigure. Of course, you could just do that. No, I guess you can't. Well, that's printed. Yeah, I know I spent a lot of time looking at parts, but some people want to see what's in one of these sets, and that's the whole point about these type of reviews, is to actually do this. And yeah, he's only got one-sided head. Oh, he's got broccoli hair with the fade. I'll take a closer look at him in a bit, but he's got a helmet, but we don't need to do that. We're going to put the vest on him now. Well, let's take off his broccoli hair. Sometimes I wish I had broccoli hair, and sometimes I'm glad I don't. Yeah. My hair looks really good right now, but the sides are poofed out. I look like my head looks round, so I try to keep it flattened down as much as I can. And he also comes with a helmet, too. Let's see if I can find that real quick. Come on. Get in there. Fit in your hand. Let's see here. Yeah, it's been like an hour or so later. How bad is this scratched here? That's not bad at all. It's pretty good. I could use that. I'm trying to find the hard hat or the skater helmet. And that's essentially what he is right there. I like that life preserver. Yeah, look at that. He's rocking the fade and everything. And honestly, if I had curly hair, I'd be doing that same hairdo too, like all the other dudes. But you know, but I have a friend of mine who's around my age in his 40s, and he could rock that broccoli hair like crazy. Where mine's hair is pinned straight, and I can't do nothing with it. And I have to. It depends on how I wear my hair, but yeah. Okay, now it looks like we're turning our attention to the front of the hovercraft. And yeah, I mean, these type of videos here, these are just meant for my notes. So they're not to be construed as professional product reviews, how-tos, or tutorials, but I try my best to show every angle as possible. These are just merely just for me to remember what I built, so when I do the review, I know where to go, and plus, it's entertainment for you. Broccoli hair. I want to see that wig come out in medium nougat, or blonde would be cool. These newer city sets, I noticed, are getting some good little accessory pieces, which is always cool. And that's the type of stuff that I am looking for. I need to point this right. Let's get that laser right there on my fingernail. There we go. But, you know, these type sets are fun. And today is November 12th, 2025. So right now, no, December 12th, 2025. Whoopsie. I'm going back in time. Got to get back into DeLorean. And yeah, that cut on my hand is still there. My package came in today. And so, okay, they're halves. So I managed to get my Christmas gifts in today, and then now I ordered a power strip because my mom's got this little winter village, and I didn't have anything that would work with wall adapters, so I managed to scrounge up one of those so she can display her village. And of course someday if I'd ever do Legos, like a Lego city, that has to be plugged into the wall. We got to make 2 of those, and these go here. But the whole intent of this style of video is just to have fun, you know, just to kind of relax. And I know there's going to be somebody out there who takes these seriously. Just don't ruin my fun. You might find someone who'll give you broccoli hair. Yeah, I like that wig. I just need it in different colors. Matter of fact, give that guy a skateboard and some baggy cargos and he's ready to go. I don't think... Does anybody even wear cargo pants anymore? Or is that just a 90s thing? I really don't see it anymore. Out here, there's a lot of people that dress country. You do have some of your skaters and stuff. Now, when I lived at the beach... you'd see a little bit of everything. Not so much country, but you'd see a lot of the surfer skater kids, which is always cool. But now, not so much, because I'm not into all that anymore. Because I'm old enough now, I don't really care how I dress, but I try to dress to impress. You know. Okay, I see what we're doing. So this is part of the round stuff. So I bet something's going to snap in there. I only have about 50 minutes, 50 minutes on this card, so I'm going to try to get as much done as I can today. Whoopsie, that wasn't supposed to go there. But you know what? This set comes with a brick separator that I lost. Oh, here it is. So, yeah, if you make a mistake, you will need that. You probably will. I make tons of them. Oh, yeah, my videos do have mistakes in them, too, so... Watch it all the way through because I may end up making a correction towards the end because I'll catch my mistakes. Like I said in other videos, some have cussed me out over it, and it's like, well, why? Lego, can you make more of these 18-degree slopes and various like shapes and stuff? So cool, but no, you won't, because you know what I want and you don't want to do what I want. Yeah, the sun's coming out, and I was hoping it'd be foggy all year for Christmas, but no. On the news, everybody's cheering that we're getting sun out here. I'm like, oh, you guys won't be saying that in a few months when you have to run your air nonstop. Then you complain about the electric bill getting so pricey. Okay, not too bad. We're getting pretty far on this one today. But I'm pretty happy with this set. The construction's pretty good. I'd say it's above average, but I think more people are going to buy this just to keep the models as is for their cities, and I don't blame them. I would too. Okay. Yeah, right now I'm processing another Disney set. I'm going to get ready to start working on writing up my review notes for one of the videos that I did. So, I'm trying to get on those because if I'm not careful, reviews will get away real quick. I will literally just lose track of everything, and that's not good at all. Okay, sorry I'm back. I just noticed that that's a nice windshield. Shame it's solid. Now, some have asked, Jay, what do you do with all these parts after you part these out? Like, what do you do with them? They go for other builds. Stuff like this I'll probably never use, or I'll try to find a use for it, but I hang on to parts that I will possibly need. There may be one day that I'll wake up and thinking, I need this piece. And let's say I need it in blue and only have it in dark orange. Well, I'll try it, and if it works, then I'll look and see if I can find one. Or if not, just change the color. And that happened with one of my tutorials. I was building a tutorial. Haven't started yet, but I've just been pulling parts for one. And bam, I thought, okay, I have all this. It's a good idea. I thought, okay, I should have all the parts. And then I found out I didn't, which was kind of a shame. It's like, well, that's not going to do me any good. Okay, now it looks like we're focusing our attention on the sides. So I think they're going to be mirrors, because I already read ahead. So I'm going to focus on this one here, and this one is its reflection. Okay. Yeah, that's dark orange. This is regular orange. That's dark orange right there. You could probably tell the difference. I'm always after new parts, new colors, or something like this. These have been around since I was a kid. It's nice to see these in just different wacky colors. Although when I was a kid, we didn't have broccoli hair pieces either. Like all we had was brown. I mean, not too exciting, but that's all we had. Now Lego comes out with what, probably a couple hundred wigs. Which is cool. Alright. Yeah, I gotta get a haircut still. My barber's booked. I'm gonna have to wait till the first of the year, so it gives me enough time to catch up on some other chores. And once I get that going, it won't be too bad. Get that car inspected and be done with it so I can keep driving it, or they won't let me drive it anymore. Alright, we don't need that right now. This is a good inspiration, but I don't really ever see hovercrafts all that much in Lego. Let alone, you know, this is a remix set, but, you know, I mean, we rarely ever see them. So that's what you're supposed to look like on the sides there. Alright. And now it looks like we're getting ready to put the little float thing on the bottom here. But at least one thing, though, I can share my build with you guys. I can share my build experience. I don't have to, you know, back in the day, I never thought anybody would want to see these, you know, to be honest with you. There were people there who would do the speed builds, like this. Look at me, I could build a Lego set in 2 seconds. Well, here I don't do that. I want to build it and just preserve it. Now, a viewer of mine says, well, you could leave all that out and just not talk about the set. Just talk about the set, and when it comes time to just doing the video, just remove it. But we're not going to do that. And I'm going to keep these creases right here at the bottom so you don't see them on the sides. I think that looks a lot better. Okay, so it looks really good the way it is. Now we got to do the front bumper part. These are nice. If you get them in brown, would be better. It just depends on what you're planning on using them for. When I was a kid, we didn't have all these cool parts. That's why I'm into Lego now. Why? Because we didn't have all this awesome stuff. Now we got ourselves a handle for the drawer. I mean, and I mean, I don't care. I mean, I have family that thinks I'm weird because I do this stuff, right? I don't care. Why? Because I'm enjoying something. I'm not ashamed like I was when I was younger. Now I don't care. Okay, and this goes in here like that. Let's hope that fits. I'm going to put my hands back here. I'm going to slide that in. Okay, it slid in. Okay. This right here I'm not too fond of. But Lego could have just put a bar in here and just used these half ones. It would have been fine. You would never have seen it. So that right there is kind of a bummer. But it's a good start. That means that's something that we could put together ourselves in a custom build later on. Okay, and we got that out of the way. Put that piece over here. I skipped a step, but I already did it because I did the mirror of it. Alright, so now we're going to turn our attention in here, possibly for the minifigures. And then Mr. Broccoli dude, put him in there because he likes his greens. I mean, there's nothing wrong with broccoli here. It's just I see some people that rock that do, and then there's some that make fun of it. I'm just like, I don't know. We had back in the 90s, we had bowl cuts, and we had the curtains with the bowl cut, which looked pretty good at that time. Now today it would be considered ridiculous, but we did. And now it's just regular curtains with a flow. But the one thing that came back into fashion is the mullet, which I'm not getting because I had one of those back in the 80s growing up, and I don't want to have that again. It's the only thing my parents gave me. Now it's like, no, we'll pass on that for a bit. Okay, so these go on the top, and it looks like this goes in here. Wait a minute, am I missing something? Okay, I forgot something. It'd be easier to put this in like this and then sticking this in here. Now you could do it any way you want it to be your Lego set, like that. I like this idea, it just needs to be cleaned up. I think that this would be a really good winner for a custom build. See some of this here. It should be flat on the back. So I'm really trying to mash that down. So there's your lights. Not too bad. And then the glider plates go at the bottom. Now this I could see in some kind of a swampy jungle. Okay. And that is what we have remaining there for bag 4. Not too bad at all. Not too bad. Okay, now we're going to be moving on to bag 5, which should be the middle section. Usually that one goes quick. Well, I see a little bag in here. We might be here for a while now. Yeah, my goal is tonight is to finish up this whole section of build, or just get this whole model done and just be done with it. We also got some vibrant yellow in there. That's always nice to see. Alrighty. We're doing the middle section, but not sure what's all involved here, but we got the red and blue again, so let's pull these out. Okay, because I need this with some of these. Well, if I can get it on there, I just got to step up my game because I will run out of memory card if I'm not careful. You know, I found that memory card. After this one runs out, I am going to put that new one. I'm going to test it. I think this camera here uses a Type 3 or something like that, but this one was a Type 2, but the speed was fine. So I'm just going to risk it and see what happens. And see how it plays out. I hope it's not pixelated or anything. We don't know because I haven't tested it yet. Yeah, but I just don't want to do any more chores. Lego, like this stuff here, building this stuff, I have fun doing. And if it wasn't for the review, see, Lego doesn't tell us we have to do close-ups. They tell us we don't have to do much of anything. I do what works for me. I do close-ups because sometimes if it's a big set, these are small enough, like this, I can bring this up to the camera, okay, and that will work. There's just sometimes if it's a big house or a building that we need to explore closer, I can't bring that big model up because if I did, there's a risk of dropping it. These are not too bad. But we got to be careful though. Looks like somebody turned on the Christmas lights early. Oh yeah, happy early Christmas everyone. Happy Hanukkah. I think Hanukkah is next week, so yeah. The holidays are here. And yeah, not too bad. Not too bad at all. We just got a lot of stuff going on. And after that, I got chores. If you're watching this and you're under 18, just be thankful you don't have to do a whole lot of chores like an adult. Yeah, I wish I was a kid again. I really do. I really wish I was a kid and relaxing, but not in this decade, not in this generation. I wouldn't. Too much violence, too much negativity. I'd like it when things were laid back. You know. So, but now today it's every time I turn on the news, somebody just gets their bridges in a ruffle or in a knot or whatever, and they go on a rampage. I'm like, why? It's the holidays. Can we take a break from all the negative stuff and then just enjoy it? Crack open a Lego set and just kind of relax. You know? Don't need to start fights. Yeah, I've been getting some more rude comments on YouTube too, so I've been blocking those people. I'm turning a new leaf. I'm just blocking them. I don't care now. Constructive criticism is welcome. Just once I sense rudeness, I just don't give chances anymore. It's just, we got so much of that going on, we don't need to deal with it, so you know, just enjoy the build. If you don't like what I'm doing, that's fine. You can always suggest improvements. I can take it or leave it, but when somebody calls me stupid or some very inappropriate stuff because I didn't do a video correctly, you know, because this was a video that I even said that these are not to be construed as product reviews or a tutorial. These are just my notes, and they took it seriously still. I was like, man, I mean, as a matter of fact, I just need to make it easy. I made it easy to get blocked, I guess. I don't know what it is. It's like I put a disclaimer. Some people don't know. They kind of go, well, Jay doesn't care. I do care, and I mean, I try to make things good, but you know, at the end of the day, though, I just do the best that I can. Okay, now it looks like we're focusing on the sides here. I have a feeling there's going to be mirrors, so we're going to start here. Let's blast through this. My stomach is a growling, and I'm craving for meat tonight. Not raw meat, just meat. Got to have my, what is it, iron or whatever, protein. The yummy stuff. Alright, so this one goes here. That means this one starts here. That'd be easy to do that. This is the one I'm copying right now. This one here is its reflection. Yeah, that vibrant yellow is really nice to have. So you get that, just hang on to it. Yeah, I also got that TV tuner project working. I'm running up a new piece of code right now for a smart TV to try to get the to get more access to the tuners and stuff in the house. It's nice when I'm, you know, I can use the phone when I'm out in the yard. I can listen to maybe the news. Or, heck, if I want to, when I'm taking a shower, just listen to that too. My house has all these smart pads on the wall that you use to control the lights and the alarm and stuff, so you can watch TV on that too. This place is really well wired up here. It's just, the house is actually like a hobby of mine. I just kind of make it into a smart house, but it's just something I kind of tinker with on the side. I don't think I've seen these like this. Be good for making vehicles. But you can see how I'm doing this here. I am trying to show you every angle that I possibly can, and then because you really can't see behind here, so pull it up and just do that. So far so good. I mean, this set is keeping my interest. If I didn't have all this other stuff to do, I would be doing this a lot more. Oh, okay. That's kind of cool. I thought that was a new piece, but no. Well, we know those are meant for each other, huh? Yeah, the easiest thing to do would be to stick the radiator grill in and then put these... Uh-oh. What happened? Did I make a mistake? Oh, I did. Ooh, I'm going to have to take all that apart because this is actually supposed to be like that. All right, so we're going to have to peel all that off. So let's make that correction now. I mean, that's okay. I made a mistake. Not a big deal. I mean, I can easily fix that. For those who cussed me out, shame on you. Some people get blocked so easily on here. It's like, man, I just make it easy, huh? They already fixed one. I was like putting that on there thinking, like, why isn't this looking right? It shouldn't look like that at all because we're going to have a couple of handles here. Well, no. I just made a boo-boo on that. So we're going to have to correct that. So I got one fixed. Let's do this one. It's not that bad. You can see how I fix things. And the beauty about doing this style of video is that if I make a mistake, you know, it's a good troubleshooting video just for, hey, I made a mistake too. And I seen it in Jaystifer's video and how he made a correction just by just moving parts around. You know, at least we caught it in time before we put it together. Okay. I'm almost done with this one here. Picking these up without any fingernails is kind of a chore. Alright, so we got these done here. So this one here, this is the blue side, this goes here. Okay. I mean, it's nice and soft. I mean, this has got some nice texture to it. And this one goes here. Okay. Really cool. As long as that blue is on the right hand side, we're fine. And then we got to stick these here. Okay. I mean, this is coming along very good. I mean, the hovercraft, how often do we build hovercrafts in Lego? Not a whole lot. I wonder what that white piece goes to. I hope that's not a bad sign that I forgot some more parts. It could be. I skip all that. And I did forget something at the bottom. This actually went on the bottom that whole time. Whoops, well, we'll pop that in there right now. We just proofed that guy. Now we got those in. Now we're doing these. Put that right in there. Okay. There we go. And that takes care of part 5. That's what we have remaining there for bag 5. And then now, if I can find the container that these go in, we got to put these two pieces together. I got to attach them. So yeah, it goes like that. Here we go. Okay. Not too bad. So Mr. Broccoli Boy can go in there. Throw that life preserver at somebody who's in the bay. We'll save that for this guy here because he's just kind of bobbing around with his wrench. But yeah, so far, I'd say this looks good. This would have made a nice, awesome city set by itself. I'm not happy with that there, but we can always improve that if we choose to do so. Alright, we're going to wrap up this installment here with bag number 6. And while I'm pouring this out, I want to thank everyone on my main channel and Patreon for being contributors. It's always a big help. You know, those kind of funds will help me with more buying parts and stuff. I keep everything real cheap, too. Thanks to everybody for checking out my Rebrickable profile, purchasing building guides, because that's also another big thing. Because writing those building guides is not easy. It just takes a lot of free time. But it's worth it because I use those same building guides that I sell. Okay, I got to have a copy of my own work. You know, that kind of thing. And most importantly, thank you everybody who takes the time to subscribe, leaves a comment, tell me how you feel about this channel and all that stuff. So that's even better. You know, that's always a big help. So now we're going to be focusing on the rear portion of the hovercraft. I got about 20 minutes, so I better make sure I have enough memory card left here. So I got to really kind of step up my game here. Doesn't look all that bad because my stomach is growling and I am hungry. I need my meat. I got to get something going, but I want to get this done first here. Yeah, so Christmas time is upon us. And yeah. Alright, looks like now we're putting some bumpers together. Or yeah. Okay, trying to get my brain together here. I'm going into a brain freeze. Let's start putting some of these over here because I'm running across the same parts here. This one doesn't have really a nice color palette, but 2x3 black bricks, I don't see those all that often, so those were nice pieces to have for the collection. You know, that kind of thing. Yeah, we're doing this goofy thing again, Lego, you know. Why, I don't know. And then this goes on here like that. Okay. And then now we got to put that on the top. I'm not much of a fan of the remix stuff, but the one thing about the remix sets is that they're broken down in such a way that it is a group build. I'm looking for white, and then this goes on the top. So these are just collaborative builds, so even though you're, let's say you buy this just to build these models, ooh, that's flat silver, that's really a keeper there. If you're buying this just to put in your city, let's say you got a family city going, okay, and you want something to do with the kids. Here you go. Right here. You don't have to think, just build it, you know. And you can share the build. That's always good. That's even better. Is that a phone I hear ringing? I'm not picking it up. I'm enjoying my hobby right now. I'm not dealing with any work stuff today. Sorry, guys. Not you guys, phone. I'm off work for another 8 or 9 weeks. I don't want to hear the phone going off. I don't even want to think about work because right now it's fun time. I don't want to think about anything. Unless it's an emergency, which I hope not. Okay, it looks like we're building some more stuff here with Technics. We'll slide that off to the side there. We got to build 2 of them. So sets like this, you know, I did have a viewer one time tell me he does not like the collaborative builds. He'd rather just build alone. He doesn't like these. Build alone. You know, I mean, seriously, you can build alone with these. But there's some out there, including myself, if I had family that was interested in this, I'd want to share the build experience. Like, Lego is not about just we build it and we play with it. This is it. When I do the review stuff, I talk about build quality, which is the strength of the build. Build experience. How engaged was I in the build? Build experience is a lot more valuable than build quality. Because even if the build just keeps disintegrating, if I had fun building the set, that's all I care about. Okay? And there's some out there who wants good build quality. If you want a model you're going to play with, yeah, that's where it comes in handy. Something like this, so far, we haven't really had anything fall off. So I'm going to say that, yeah, these are pretty good for what they are. But we're just kind of having some fun here with this one. Oh, it comes with one of these fan blades. We get 2 propellers. Of course we're going to need that. In fact, this would be a good inspiration for a tutorial here. Not like that, but maybe more of a lightweight one. Somebody did ask me, Jay, is it tempting just to use Lego's idea when they send you sets early for tutorials? I could, but that's being a douchebag, and I'm not that. And 2, I can get in some trouble for that. So no. But it's a good. This is a good inspirational set too, because we see all the mistakes that was made in here. We could probably fix those up and make our own. Yeah, see, Mr. Broccoli's walking around. He's almost there. He's almost to his hovercraft. I don't think I've seen these a lot in blue, so there we go. Yeah, I got a lot of reviews. I got a couple more offers that came in the mail. I got to get going on those. Well, not in the mail. They've sent me offers. I can decline them if I choose, but one of them is a theme I'm familiar with, but I don't know what it is, and the other one is something I'm not familiar with at all. It's going to push me out of my comfort zone, so we don't know yet how that's going to go. And yeah, I'll be doing reviews for a while, so if you're looking for content on this channel, there's going to be a lot here. No reruns for a while. If I have to put a rerun in there, it's because I didn't have anything prepared, or I'm between dates on getting things done. Like right now, a rerun should have already passed. We've got a couple of 1x5s we don't need right now. And oh, by the way, did I forget some studs in there? Yes, I did. For those who have said I talk too much in these, that's okay too. You know, I talk a lot. Yeah, just for fun. And I still remember that one comment, just shut up and build type thing, with some other colorful language in there I can't repeat on YouTube. Okay, I'll shut up and build all right with some bad words. Block. Don't want to hear it, you know, type deal. I mean, I'd love to cuss in these. I really would. It would make the builds very colorful. But, you know, like I've said in the past, so a lot of my viewers, they watch this with their family, with their kids. And I'm not going to just do that. That's just being respectful to the viewers on here. That's not too bad. It's a lot of plates, though. It looks like a mess, doesn't it? Alright, so we used a couple of these. This is the engine here. It's kind of clever how they did that. And they use some of these cupcake holders. They stick that in backwards like that. Not a bad idea, huh? And I only got 13 minutes. And I was hoping to have some time to... okay, it goes like this with this piece at the bottom. I was hoping to have some time to do a short video on this one here, but maybe not. So that's how yours is supposed to look, like that. Okay, let's put the other one in. We hadn't even built it yet, huh? So yeah, it's just due to respect, not to cuss in these things. Some have said, well, you know, it adds a little flavor to it. Yeah, it does. I'm not going to disagree there, but yeah, I'm not going to do that. Yeah, be very careful. I'm going to put my hands like that. You're going to have to... Let me just do it on the table here. I got to cover it up. I'm sorry. But there we go. I'm getting the engine done, huh? Okay. Now it looks like we're doing the side panels. And I have a gut feeling that these are going to be mirrored. So let's get going on there. Okay. Take those 1x5s and stuff those there. I saw this and I thought, looks like a side. Let's just go ahead and do that real quick. Okay. Yeah, I was pretty comfortable today. I'm wearing a long sleeve thermal. It's not too bad. And boy, once I get in here with all the lights and the computer going, it gets pretty toasty in this room. And when it was just me living here, I just hung out back here. In the wintertime, the computer alone would keep this part of the house, warm. I was only in here, the bathroom, kitchen, and bedroom. That's all I need. Just, I don't need the other bedrooms or the living room. And that was the thing about being a bachelor. I didn't have to worry about it. And if I had a mess, I could just close the door and move on. Now with family living here, it's a little more, I can't do that as much. It just, okay. Oh, yeah, I could use those. Oh, yeah. Jay, you get excited over all these new parts. I know, right? Why? Because it's new. Who doesn't like new pieces? It's like, okay, stuff that was impossible to build like before. It's like, okay, now I can build something even better. I can take my old builds and improve them now with just some simple pieces Lego decided to release. That kind of thing. So as you can see here, these are like wings to a jet or something. So little pieces like this I get excited over. I know, stomach, hold on, I gotta get this done real quick. We don't want to ruin the TV show. And looks like these go here, but they're angled inwards. Boy, that's kind of hard to get in there. Need some little hands, but that's how it is. The book shows it like that there. It's wedged inwards. So that is how that goes in like that. And then I put some more stuff here. I was looking for some of these in pink, but they didn't come in the color that I need. So come in dark orange. I guess that's fine, but it's not the color I want. Hey, at least one thing though. I've gotten my act together. I'm trying to show every angle. And yeah. Now if I did one of these at a time, we'd be here a lot longer, and I'm pressed for time right now. And then this one here that we did over here, this one goes on this side here. So it's right here, like that. Okay, so we'll press that down in there. Okay, make sure that's all secure. All those studs are locked in between the tubes. Then I'm going to take this one and put it here. Well, it's so sad that these vehicle sets are nicer than the actual builds that Lego produces, like their buildings and stuff. Now we're working on the other side here. There it is, we're done. Okay, now we got to put the wind propellers in, and I got to get that done in 8 minutes, but there's not a whole lot left, so we should be fine. Alright, so it looks like we're building one at a time, so I'm assuming that they're mirrors. We should be able to get that done real quick. Okay. Like that. And then these go onto here. And they show this notch piece in the back. I don't know how critical that is. We're just going to copy exactly how this is here. Okay. I know some of my viewers, they say their kids copy how I word things out in videos. Yeah, I do repeat myself a lot, and boy, Lego, that's really kind of bad printing there. It's I'm not here to be anybody's, I think that's probably starboard, that's port, I don't know which one's which. Anybody's role model. I just do this stuff just merely to kill time. But stay in school, go to college, get a good education, and fulfill your dreams. That's the only thing I can give for advice. Alright, so this one here goes here. You know what that means? This one here goes here. Okay. Let's make sure. This one has a red light, and that goes over there. Okay. Yeah, we didn't mess up. That's even better, so I survived that guy. Alright, and then now we got to flip this thing like a pancake, and we got to stick these here. I guess to make it just seem like it's off the ground a bit. I mean, it looks like this thing is full of air. In a good way. Alright, now let's let these two pieces get to know each other a bit better. Huh? Plug it in. Okay, and that takes care of that. And this is what we have remaining here. And they show the life preserver on the top. I'm going to put that on there. So we got the helmet here. Let's keep that. And that's what we have remaining for the build. Alright, and that's it. Summation of Thoughts. And yeah, this is pretty good. It's keeping my interest. We got a couple of these done. I'm going to save the remix stuff for the review. Forgot that, of course. But, yeah, this has got some weight to it. Now, what does it look like if we take this middle piece out? We'll find out here. And you got to really force these things out here. It's just a smaller version of it. Yeah, that doesn't look all that impressive. I think it looks better a little bigger. The truck looks pretty good. But these are just meant to, you know, extend the build of these out a bit more and such. Let's put this life preserver in here. But I'm happy with this set. It's keeping my interest. I really want to get into building the plane next. And I'm not bored with it. That's even better. Okay? Because this gentleman here is going to like riding this. So he can sit right here. I don't think there's any controls in there. Well, you know, there's just the handlebars. So he can sit there and let the sea air go through his broccoli hair. But it comes with the brick separator. And yeah, I mean, it's nice. It's a nice build. It's a very nice. Well, for the next installment, I am going to use that other memory card I found. I'm hoping that one's going to turn out well. And if it does, I got myself another memory card. If not, then I'm hoping it's not going to be pixelated. I used some really bad ones back in the day and didn't have any issues with it. But for me personally, come on, stand up straight. Don't slouch. It's not good for you. But I'm pretty pleased with the outcome of this set. I mean, look, you're getting another build here that can go up to 3 people. So far, 6 people can build this one set alone. You're getting 2 good vehicles. Just these alone here. I mean, they look complete. Right? They look like 2 separate sets, which is even better. I think they look better like this, but when we do the remix stuff, we're going to take a look. But tell me what you think of the hovercraft. I mean, it looks pretty interesting for what it is.